When you go back and remember, how was your self-image constructed to begin with? Remember, we talked about the concept of self-talk and how you think. And if you remember, we said we talk in 3 dimensions. That 3-dimensional form of thought, as you are speaking and describing to yourself, is being recorded in the neuron of your brain. So what you're going to do is take charge, to take control over the changes that you want to make. You're not going to allow it to happenstance or maybe, but you're going to deliberately, intentionally say to yourself, I want this kind of an attitude. I want to change this kind of behavior. I want to stretch my comfort zone. I want to be able to go far beyond where I allow myself to go. So if I can get you to think about ways you would like to free flow your behavior, so you don't need to consciously think about it, you can just let go and flow at the new level of excellence that inside you have a desire to be. So here's what the kind of imagery that changes that inside you. It is experiential imagery. It is first-person imagery. It is present tense imagery. It is positive imagery. So I just keep seeing the end results and assimilating the end results into me, letting my subconscious create the how. The affirmations are not an end result. The affirmations are a means to get you the end result. The affirmation process is to change the construct in your brain. Because once you've decided the change you want, writing it out is very important. But every affirmation will be only 1 sentence long, not a paragraph. It's got to be 1 sentence. So when you write them out, it's personal. So if somebody else was to read them, it would sound selfish. I can't affirm for you, I can only affirm for me. So it will sound like I am or I have, or it's easy for me. See, it's personal. The second step is it's positive. I want to create the picture I'm moving toward. I want to create an idea for my mind that causes me to seek it. Positive. Present tense. All it simply means is all of your goals, like the way you're going to speak when you lead, is as though you already are or you already have what it is you're seeking. It's the future in the present tense. It's the future in the present tense. Achievement. See, sometimes people say, I can be a good person. I can, or I will, I can be nice. I'm just not. I can is only speaking of your potential, not of the result. You see the difference? You're speaking that the potential's inside of myself when you say I can. But to say I have, I am, it is, and you look around and it's not, wow, you've got a problem, and you're supposed to have achievement. No comparison. Comparing yourself being better than, greater than, is not at all going to help you be successful. What it is, I want you to observe others, use others as a model, take their attributes and assimilate those into yourself like you'd like to have them. You're building a better you. Action words. It's moving pictures in real life, so you put in words like I quickly, I easily, I fluidly, I aggressively, because you want your pictures to move. Emotion words. The power comes in the emotion, so you put an appropriate emotion. It makes me feel proud to be. It brings great joy. I feel enthusiastic about. The more emotion, the faster the change. Accuracy. I'm going to lose some weight. Clarity, exactness, explicity is what you need. You'll have trouble forcing yourself, I know, to be clear. Why do you suppose people would have difficulty being clear? It makes you accountable. If you can't get it clear, it's because either you haven't spent the time to focus or you're dodging accountability. Balance, very important, that when you're starting out goal setting, it's essential because you're going to run obsessively with this process. You're going to become obsessive inside yourself. You're going to drive yourself like you've never been driven before. What's realistic? I don't know, but here's the limit. Because you can't take yourself past what you can imagine yourself doing. Don't worry about that. Just get started. And then as you start approaching it, you can go past that. By the way, you got to keep it confidential. Can't go telling people. For a variety of reasons, confidentiality is very important. Because if you tell somebody you're going to do it, it becomes a have-to goal. You force yourself into it, and you work against it. See, you don't need to be pushed into or forced into change. You want to grow into it. Confidentiality. Now, sometimes it's just a thought for you. Wouldn't that be nice? And then you forget about it. And you'll forget about it, I'll tell you why. Because your creative subconscious has the job of sustaining this image as you are now. You're, with this process of affirmations, messing around with this creative subconscious. This creative subconscious will try to make you even forget that you wanted to change. It'll find excuses for you to not change. Its job is to sustain the reality that you have in the neuron of your brain. So this is a deliberate technique that works. It's scientific, it's not anything that I have thought of. You write it out so that every time you read the words, it takes you in your forethought into the circumstance or the situation as though you actually are. So we're not leaving it to chance. You are deliberately deciding maybe 12 to 15 or 20 changes you're going to make at a time. And you're going to intentionally and deliberately script it out. Now, when you write these affirmations out, that does not make the change. That's just the beginning. Now, just before you fall asleep at night is the best natural time to give your mind the new image and the new emotion. Because you're closer to what is called the alpha state of consciousness, the daydreaming state, and you're most receptive to your own suggestion. And then when you awaken in the morning, before you get into the spin of your day, that is the second best time. You're closest to the alpha state of consciousness, the daydreaming state. So I want you to take the time to deliberately program into your mind the new image, the new picture, and the new emotion that you're going to have guiding your behavior until you choose to change it again. So it's the process, once you've written them out, is to read the words of your affirmation. Then close your eyes and get an image or a picture of where you would be with your family, or where you would be perhaps with your friends, or where you would be in a work situation. And let those words that you described take you into that circumstance. Then take the emotion that you want carried, and you will write your affirmations so it describes the kind of emotion you want to carry forward into that circumstance. So you read, picture, and feel the emotion. Then you go to your second affirmation. Read, picture, and feel, and go to your third affirmation. Read, picture, and feel, and go to your fourth affirmation. Read, picture, and feel, and go to your next affirmation. That's all it takes. It should be harder, don't you think? Don't you think it should be more difficult than that? It's not. But what you must do is be clear on the specific changes that you choose to make. And you keep altering and changing the automatic pilot system, which is your subconscious. It is your internal idea of who you are and how you are. And as you change that, then as you go out in your day, today or the next day, don't try hard to be what you're affirming. Don't pretend you are what you told yourself to be. But here's what you do. You now observe your behavior. You want to reflect back over the morning, or reflect back over the afternoon, or at the end of the day, reflect back. Or even while you are performing, if it's athletics, or if it's singing, or if it happens to be socially. You will be able to observe your behavior. It kind of goes, and I'm going to write a little cycle for you to remember. You have your self-image, which is your idea of how you are. That image controls your performance reality, or how you act. When you don't consciously control it, it's how you act. But what human beings do is you observe how you just behaved, and with your self-talk, you describe to yourself what you just observed, what you did. And so if your behavior is unwanted, you just keep telling yourself, well, there I go again. That's like me. I've always been that way, which reinforces a self-image, which makes you act like that again. So what you must do is you must intercept your self-talk. And so when you see your behavior, like your old behavior that's unwanted, here's what I want you to tell yourself. I'm better than that now. That's no longer like me. That's not like me any longer. And you then will tell yourself, and this is the key phrase, the next time I intend to. The next time I intend to. The next time I intend to, and then you give yourself your affirmation with your self-talk. Because otherwise what you say to yourself, there I go again, that's like me, I've always been that way, and all you do is reinforcing your old behavior, your old emotion that's unwanted, your old performance level. You must correct it with your self-talk. That is not like me. I'm better than that. No more. And now you must give yourself a replacement picture. It's all about replacement pictures. So the replacement picture statement for you is, the next time, and you tell yourself how you're going to treat that person. You're going to tell yourself how brave you're going to be. You're going to tell yourself how you're going to make that happen, whatever it was that you wanted to have happen. So you're going to carefully select in your mind the image that you want inside your mind. And when your behavior is less, when your performance is less, when your response is unwanted now, you must tell yourself, I'm better than that. But your self-talk is going to come back and say to you, well, you've always been this way. Who are you fooling? And you could say to yourself, maybe up till now, but no more. You got to get tough with yourself. Never make the mistake that being positive is weak, soft, and permissive. You're telling yourself the exact picture you want in the future. You're changing your mind. You're not going to let the old pictures dominate your behavior. Although it presently is, you must give yourself a new picture to seek. You are a seeker. Because you seek images, if you don't give yourself a new picture, you will go back to your old picture. But then every day, you're going to be very conscious of your self-talk, and you're going to be very conscious of your behavior. You're going to watch. When you are successful at the level with which you've chosen, now here's what you're going to say to yourself. Yes! That's like me. That is like me. I'm really good at this. Yes, this is like me. So when you see yourself performing at the level with which you are affirming, then you must reaffirm yourself. That's how you grow. Dr. Bandura out of Stanford, the best in the world in the cognitive research world, he says, and he's told us, that most people pass through their accomplishments too quickly and too lightly to have it make any change in their image of reality. And what would that look like? When you do something successful, have you ever said, oh, it was nothing. I had nothing to do with it. Oh, well, it was an accident. See, and so you must elevate your image. You've got to raise your image of yourself. You've got to alter the picture to a whole new level. And so what you must do is when you are doing something successful, you must reiterate it. You've got to remember it. You've got to reflect on it. You've got to assimilate it. You've got to let yourself feel it. See, that's what high-performance people do. They let themselves feel their success. So when you are successful, even in little things, it doesn't need to be big things, just little changes. You say, yes, 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 I'm changing. I see it. I feel it. Yes. Look at that. There I am. That's the way you want to talk to yourself. So what you do, when it's beneath it's maybe normal for what you used to be. But remember, you're creating a new normal. And so when now your performance is beneath that with which you are seeking, you must tell yourself, no more, I'm better than that. That's no longer like me. And then you affirm again the next time, and you take yourself into the future. And you see yourself the next time performing at this level or responding with this emotion. And that's all there is to it. But when you are successful, again, what must you tell yourself? Yes. Wow. Yes. That's like me. That's like me. And every high-performance person does that. They do it automatically. They don't even know they're doing it. And if you remember when I said to you with your children, if you could sit by their bedside before they fall asleep at night, and you ask them, what did you do today that went so well? And you see, what you're getting them to do with their self-talk is to reaffirm something they did great. And it elevates their image of who they are. It raises their self-image, their self-esteem. Okay, so you're borrowing a great emotion of the past and you're coloring your future expectation. You see how that works? And you do that over and over and over and over. And before long, you'll see yourself, wow, my gosh. And people around you are going to say, you really are different. Now, when they tell you you're different, subconsciously, it may bother you. You say, oh, well, people are going to say, when are you going to be your old self? When are you going to quit faking it? Who are you trying to impress? See, they're going to see you differently. You're changing their reality. Your family's going to see you differently. Your close friends are going to see you acting differently. And you're changing their reality, and they're going to try to pull you back. Don't let them. You're on your journey. You're on your way to going far beyond your normal. This process is not something I made up. It is very scientifically documented, but it's also just the way people grow naturally. You're going to do it intentionally. Got it? Okay.